family. Just want to send you all my love. It's Miss Delaney here. Davis would really appreciate the musical prelude that we're going to have for you. Love, love, love.
Um, Hello, I'm Nick. I was a friend of Davis's and I made a poem to commemorate and honor him. So it's called We Miss You, Davis. We lost a soldier, his heart pounding.
So when I met Davis, I was at the car lot, and I was just like really sad that day. And he had told me that we all have problems, but we just have to like get through it. We always have to look at the bright side of it. I had bad family issues, and he had told me look at the bright side. You're gonna have a baby brother soon. So that just made me really happy. And he was a really good kid. He always made people's day a little bit better. He was always smiling, and he was like never sad.
Davis was in the Scouts with me. I remember him well. He wore this in his honor.
Hola, I am Miss Lugo. I taught Davis Spanish. I will always treasure the videos that he made for the class, talking about his family in Spanish and himself. He was a great student, always happy, always smart, and I will never forget Davis.
Davis was a loving person. He always knew how to make you feel better. He always smiled, and when you walked in the room, he would always say hey. And he just made everybody feel good about themselves.
Davis was like, he never brought negative vibes anywhere. Like, he would brighten up the room. He would make you smile on any day.
Davis was like a one-of-a-kind person. He was nice to everyone that he met, even if you didn't know him. Whenever your day was horrible, if you saw his face, he would make you happy.
When he passed, we lost his contagious laugh, loving smile, and a quirkiness that could never be replaced. Davis, you will always be in my heart.
He was in my fantasy football club, and I knew he was a really big Panthers fan, and I know he was a really good kid. He made people smile and stuff, and that's why, I'll always remember him for that.
Davis was the kindest kid you could ever meet. I remember the first time I met him, it was before I came to Piedmont, when I played when I was in my soccer game, and I was against him, and he destroyed my team, like 10-0, like miserably. One time I was on his team, twice actually, and those were the seasons where I won every single game. So he was the kindest kid you could ever meet, and he was very athletic, and he always fought for everything that he wanted.
Davis was like always happy, and he had like a really caring personality, and he would like always make people laugh. He was also like, he was real sassy too. I was like, okay, Davis, because he was always having everybody cracking up.
And then like when we went on the field trip, he'll always be like, oh, I love you, I love you, I love you. Like he'll say the funniest stuff on the field trip when I was mad.
Hi, I'm Courtney. I was a friend of Davis too. We got closer on the DC trip, and I'm really upset that he died. I can't believe he died, but I have so many great memories for the 2 years I knew him. And just going back to band, like band was so fun with Davis. He made people laugh. He would always like he would participate, but the answers were wrong, and it was just so hilarious.
Davis, we both played clarinet, and he made going to band a lot of fun. I know you've probably heard the bird story already.
One time in band, Mr. Forrest was talking about how music has always existed
in nature, and we only discovered it. And Davis just goes, birds, and we all started cracking up.
And every time in band, when Mr. Forbes would ask a question, he would very confidently shout the wrong answer.
We were in band, and he was asking us questions about theory. David would always shout out an answer, even though he knew it wasn't right. And it would always make us laugh.
Yeah.
We're gonna miss him.
Davis was the nicest kid in school.
Yeah, what really struck me about him, he was always so positive and just always so nice to everyone.
Yeah, he always had a smile on his face.
Yeah, he was just so kind to everyone. He would let you play soccer with him, let you hang out with him at any time.
He had 2 giant boxes of Starburst one time, and I begged him for at least 5 minutes just asking for a Starburst because I really like Starburst, and he just busted out laughing and gave me one.
That's so Davis. He was the best person ever.
Yeah, he was. I'm gonna miss him.
Yeah, me too.
But he was always a good person. He'd always check up on you. Even if you were mean to him, he'd still check up on you no matter what. And I do have a couple good stories, but they're kind of personal, but he was a really good friend, and I do miss him.
I feel like Davis was an amazing person because he never wanted to hurt anybody or do anything wrong, and he always had a smile on his face every time that we saw him, and like many people.
Yeah, he always tried to be friends with like everyone he met. I remember in Washington, D.C., we had a bottle flipping competition, and Davis thought he was the best at it, but he never even got one. But whenever I got one, he always said, good job.
Yeah. I remember whenever we had a soccer game, he would always ask the score and if we won.
He was really nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss him.
Me too.
You know, Davis was a really good friend. He was funny. He usually made me laugh a lot. So.
Dear Davis, you've always been sweet to me. You are super silly and fun to be around. Being in band with you is hilarious. Yesterday was an A day. I was supposed to see you, but every time you saw me, you would come up to me with a hug and say my name extremely long and sassy. I miss you already. I remember how much fun you were having on the trip, running around laughing with your friends. I even have that picture of you and me. In jazz band, you were constantly playing with me and Kendall. That one day when Kendall had food and you asked her for some and she said no, and you were like, but I'm your best buddy! It was hilarious. From then on, every time I saw you, you were one of my best buddies. You made me laugh when I didn't want to, and I wish you were here now to do that again. It was too sudden and it happened too soon. You were too young to leave this earth. I know you're gonna be making everyone in heaven happy. The days April 28th and 29th will stay in my mind forever. I love you and I miss you. Love, best buddy.
I have a great partner at the DC trip.
Yeah, he had a great sense of humor. Always cheering us up.
Personally, but he was always a positive person, and his smile lit up the room.
I used to say hey to him in the hallway. He asked me if I was on the basketball team, and like ever since then we had a good friendship. I used to say what's up to him, and I pray for his family, along with Davis.
During clubs in 6th grade, he used to always make me laugh.
This was kind, he was funny, and what I remember about him is that he always used to try to jump on my back to prevent me from catching the ball, even though I still caught the ball. He was just a good, talented guy. I wish his life would have lived on more.
So, he always tried to make me laugh, and I just miss him a lot.
But he always went out of his way to compliment me or Geneva or just tell a joke, even if he didn't know the person very well.
When we were in 6th grade, I dropped all my stuff all over the floor, and he helped me pick it up. So that was really nice.
Davis was a good kid. He never failed to put a smile on my face. He was always very energetic, and he'll always say in my prayers.
But Davis is still fighting, and I keep expanding my prayers.
I wish I had gotten to know him.
Davis was a kind soul, and all our prayers to his family.
Davis was a very caring person. He was loving, he was honorable, and I hope his parents and families are doing well.
Davis was older than that. I miss him so much.
He had his flaws, but he was a really good kid.
Hey guys, it's William. I'm gonna read something about Davis. Okay. Davis, he was a good friend. Most of all, he was a good person. Davis acquired and maintained the basic but extraordinary foundation of keeping optimism. There was hardly a moment when he didn't have a smile on his face. Whenever he would see a face familiar or barely familiar, he would greet them or dab them up. He was respectful to his peers and his teachers, also just adults in general. Something that I noticed about Davis the most was him being caring. You can expect him to lend you a pencil, or even up to lending you a pair of Beats, or even keeping them. I could always count on him in Spanish class to lend me a pencil if I needed one. When I needed a pair of headphones, like I said, he would let me borrow his Beats without question. And those Beats that he let me borrow one time, he ended up giving them to a kid who wanted them or needed them more than he did. Needed them more than he did. He gifted them for free. Like I said, Davis was a good person. My prayers will be with Davis and his family because they deserve it.
Funny person. I remember having a six month with him. He would always give me food and stuff. He was a nice person, and he didn't deserve to have his life taken. And I would have really wished if he could have stayed at Piedmont with us, because he was a nice addition to the school.
Being around Davis just made people happy.
I think I speak for all of us when I say we miss you, Davis.
Davis will always be with us even though he's not here.